found ourselves in some kind of room that resembled either a boiler room or utility room under the bomb shelter. Obey. Empty bottles, cigarette butts, and other bits of debris littered the floor. That proves that there is an exit from the caves. Scanned the room with the flashlight, and in the farthest corner I saw... Jesus fucking dicks. Shurik, doubled up and trembling all over. Shurik! Who is that? He stammered. Shurik, we've been looking for you all night, and you're just shitting here. And you're just sitting here. Get up. I'm not going anywhere, he stuttered quietly, but with every word his voice gained strength, until he was shouting at the top of his lungs. No, I won't go with you anywhere. You don't exist. You aren't here anyway. It's an hallucination. It's unscientific. Yeah, unscientific. What do you mean by you aren't here? Here we are. We came searching for you. Alisa remained silent now, but then she let go of my hand and took a few steps toward Shurik. What are you doing? I asked quietly. She hesitated for a moment, but proceeded as if not hearing me. Ja! Hau ihm die Scheiße aus dem Leib. Gopnik-Style. Oh. Finally, having come close to the lost pioneer, Alisa fetched him a scathing slap across the face. Oh, dude. You! We nearly died while searching for you. Those damned woods at night, that bomb shelter, these freaking mines, and one mass of bruises thanks to you. And you what? You're just hanging out, drinking booze and seeing pink spiders, you bastard! Shurik stared at her with a bemused look. Now then, get your ass up and move. No, he began to whisper quietly. No. Somewhere deep inside me, on the very edge of my awareness, I got a feeling that something really bad was going to happen now. Die Musik stoppte. Sein Penis wird hart, wie man sieht. It happened. A premonition. Intuition. Intuition, or just an analysis of the situation from the way Shurik was sitting, or the expression on his face, hinted at his following actions. Was ist denn jetzt los, Alter? And probably all of that together, I rushed to Alisa, the light furiously jumping all over the room, and highlighting Shurik's face for a second, twisted with madness. He was wielding a metal rod, and if I hadn't been a moment too late, he would definitely have smashed in Alisa's head with it. But I made it. Das ist wieder so Schrei. Everything was like a dream. The distant shout of a girl, a hollow thud, the flashlight going out in the eerie silence, except for the heavy breathing of Shurik. It took me a while to come to my senses. What are you doing, you jerk? I checked my arm and I felt it and it felt okay. The blow landed on the flashlight. So now we were in complete darkness. You won't get it. Won't get me. Shurik's hysterical laughter was quickly fading away in the distance. Hey, where are you going? Get back here now! Won't get. The yell vanished into the distance. What a freak! I've tried to fix the flashlight in the darkness. No way. Shurik has smashed it into pieces with his rod. Then suddenly I thought of Alisa. Are you okay? I felt a quiet sob, and at the same instant I felt her embrace hugging me tightly. Okay. It's okay. It's all over now. Everything's fine. Well, in fact, nothing was fine. But I needed her to get a grip on herself. Otherwise, we stood no chance of getting out of here alive. I tenderly caressed her head. I wonder, Alisa crying? Is that a funny thing? Maybe in different circumstances. I'm scared. That's okay. I'm scared too. I know this is strong and sudden transformation, Alisa. But what the heck? Anyone would be scared in these circumstances. Moreover, she's a girl. But why aren't I scared? No, not scared. Why am I still able to keep my mind clear and speak sense? Might it be because I have to worry about more than just myself? Okay, come on. We have to get out of here anyway. Hold on. Just a sec. Said Alisa quietly, and the room became illuminated by the dim flicker of a lighter's flame. Where did that come from? That statue. She forced a gentle smile and handed me the lighter. Alright. I quickly swept my eyes over the room, searching for something that would be used as a torch. There were some tattered rags and a rot among the debris on the floor. One of the bottles contained some liquid that smelled like industrial alcohol. For better or for worse, in a minute I was holding something that resembled a flaming torch in my hands. I don't know how long it will last, so we gotta move quickly. Where to? Alisa seemed to be returning to her senses. Let's go back. At least we'll reach the bomb shelter for one thing. There's light there. She gave me a quiet nod and took my hand. The torch was burning poorly. We had to reignite it every other minute. One didn't have to be an oracle to predict an extremely short lifespan for that rag we were using. I became more and more afraid that we wouldn't leave the darkness in the mine. He wouldn't rely too much on just the lighter. However, we reached the hole that led up to the catacombs quite fast. It seems that I memorized the route after all. We struggled to get up, scrambling over the rocks almost blindly. Okay, where are we going now? Asked Alisa, getting her breath back. What do you mean? We're going to that room with the bunks and cabinets. Which way is that? I opened my mouth to remind him, but suddenly realized that I had not the slightest idea. The hole looked the same from all sides, just like the walls, the floor and the ceiling. We had not a single hint to indicate the right direction. Well, don't you know? Also ich sah hier hinten einen Trümmerhaufen. Hier ist diese eine Platte ein bisschen abgesunken. Also kamen wir aus dieser Richtung. Ist doch ganz klar. Alisa asked sadly and sat on the ground. Und man wird ja wohl wissen, in welche Richtung man gegangen ist. Und dann erstmal... Also komm. Das ist jetzt wohl die leichteste der Fragen hier. No. I replied quickly. Was hat sie gesagt? Don't you know? No. I replied quietly, put out a torch to preserve it and sat next to her. Are we going to die here? She rested her head upon my shoulder. Alisa's voice sounded flat, one might even say calm, but I could feel that her body was trembling, either with cold, or with fear, or with both combined. Don't be silly. Sure, things are getting worse, but they're still pretty far from we're gonna die. They will come and rescue us in the morning. Olga will call the police, so... I would love to believe that myself. I see. Yeah. I lost track of time sitting there. I was afraid to go forward or backward. I was afraid to make a choice, as our torch definitely wouldn't last both ways. Wandering in total darkness, without any source of light, was definitely worse than waiting for the rescue here. This way, at least, we could have some light left for an emergency. Suddenly, a rumbling started echoing in the distance. Well, here's that emergency. It was definitely the clank of door bolts mixing in the rumbling. Get up! I harshly pulled Alisa to her feet and lit the torch with shaking hands. What is it? She asked in dismay. I don't know. But it seems there's someone. We have to run. To be honest, I wasn't sure that it was such a good idea. What if the mad Shurik is there? And in fact, that's the least of all the evils I can imagine. But we had no choice left. The stones scattered beneath our feet. I desperately tried not to fall down, holding my hand with the torch out in front and dragging Alisa with the other. She ran along in silence, breathing heavily. I really wanted to look back at her, but didn't have the strength, or time. Finally, the outline of the open door appeared before us, and I leaped into the bomb shelter, readying myself to fight any foe that was there. But the room was empty. I swept my eyes across the room, trying hard to spot hidden monsters, Shurik, or any other evil entity, but it was all exactly the same as it was the first time we'd been here. Except for the door, the second door. It was open! Somebody has passed through here! Oh, das war ich. Somebody has passed through here. I spoke up triumphantly. Who? I don't know. Maybe it was Shurik. But how did he manage to open it? Who the hell cares? Come on. There was another corridor behind the door. It was ascending slowly. So we're getting closer to the I was right. After several hundred of feet, I stumbled open a ladder leading to a small hatch on the ceiling. It didn't take much effort to open it. What's up there? Who cares? It's better than staying down here anyway. I climbed the ladder and found myself surrounded by gloom. However, this gloom definitely lighter than the darkness of the catacombs. As my eyes got more used to it, the outlines of the walls, the ladder, and the door leading to the outside were emerging in the pale moonlight. I helped Alisa climb up and we literally sprang out of the building. The exit from the catacombs was located in some sort of ruined building that resembled either a nursery or country school. It must be the old camp. Alisa sat on one of the swings and wiped the sweat from her forehead with the back of her hand. I see. So we found it after all. I smiled involuntarily. What are you laughing at? She frowned and pouted with displeasure. To put it shortly, she would return to her usual self. So, it's not so scary here anymore. I wasn't scared there either. Oh, come on. That's right, I wasn't. Whatever. I was angry. I really felt hurt because of Alisa. If not for me, she would have still been down there. In the damned mine. Where are you going? She asked in a less self-assured voice as I turned around and walked slowly towards the camp. Back to the camp. Hey! As I jumped up right away and started to walk next to me. Dude. Warum so gruselige Musik, dude? For a moment, I wanted to say something nasty, but I wasn't ready to start the next argument. We found the path we had taken before surprisingly fast, even the two holes we'd fallen into. It was only about 200 meters from the old camp. I stopped at the square and turned to Alisa. Well... She looked uncertain, even confused. Then... Sure. Deep inside I wanted to yell at her, scold her, even to insult her. On the other hand, I wanted to have meaningful conversation. In the end, I just kept silent, turned around and slowly headed towards the leader's cabin. What the fuck? But something persistently disturbed the quiet of the night. I keenly listened to it and realized that it was the snoring of Shurik, who was sleeping peacefully on a bench. Hey! I called Alisa, who hadn't walked away too far away. Get up, you! Shurik slowly came to his senses and stared at us blankly. Oh, is it morning already? Morning? Yeah, sure. Sometimes one acts first, thinks later. Of course, it all starts in the brain, then the current comes through the new neural links, thereby transmitting the command to the body. But sometimes the subconsciousness just works faster than the consciousness. That's exactly why my first swung and smacked Shurik in the guts, and it was only then that I realized what I've done. He coughed, trying to catch his breath, and writhed in pain on the bench. What the hell was all that about? I already felt bad about it. I shouldn't have treated him so rough. What? What are you talking about? Shurik looked at me in shock. In the mine? What mine? He turned his head, completely confused. And why am I here? And why are you here? Stop fooling around. Alisa barged into the conversation. You nearly killed me there, and now you're going to pretend like nothing happened? What happened? You really don't remember? Not a thing. Okay, so what is the last thing you do remember? Shurik tried to concentrate. Well, I was on my way to the old camp in the morning. I knew I could find some hardware for the robots there, so... Robots. So, and that's all. I don't recall anything since then. Then I just woke up here. I let out a heavy sigh as I turned away. Well, go ahead. Sweet dreams. Hey, where are you? I ignored Alisa and stumbled away to Olga's cabin. She stayed, arguing with Shurik. I sat in the deck chair and looked up at the stars. This night, they seemed to be brighter as usual. Perhaps they seemed so because not too long ago my only source of light was a dim flashlight, and then the torch. The stars are brighter than a flashlight and obviously a torch. Most of the stars, I guess, are even brighter than the sun, but they're so far away. So why have you come? I asked without even turning my head. Alisa's footsteps could be heard well in advance in the silence of the night. Well, what did Shurik say? He said that he doesn't remember anything, that is unscientific and nonsense like that. I think he really doesn't remember because of shock and stress. Who am I to say? I was in the same boat not too long ago. I am still in it though. Do I have amnesia? Well then, why did you come here? Then again, I guess I knew the answer. That's exactly why I hadn't gone to sleep but waited for her here. Well, Alisa sat down next to me. Kind of wanted to thank you, after all, down there, that you know. No problem, I said gently and leaned back. Well, alright then. She got up and was going to go. If you think that I'm angry with you, I'm not. Everything is okay. I didn't actually think that. Alisa got worked up. Fine then. Okay. Yeah. Then, just go already. I said kindly and waved my hand. I'll go when I want to. So, now you don't want to? I want to. Well, is something preventing you from going? Moron. Alisa stamped her foot quickly and walked away from the leader's cabin. I took a deep breath and stood up. My head was terribly dizzy from fatigue. Well, at least Olga is sleeping already and I won't have to explain anything. Oof. However, it wasn't that easy. The camp leader was standing in the middle of the room and was obviously preparing for for lengthy conversation, or rather for debriefing. Would you care to explain? What's the matter? In fact, you didn't mind when we were going to search for Shurik? And what? Have you found him? It looks like she was more concerned about me coming back late than the fate of the lost pioneer. Yes, we have. By the way, why are you standing here in the darkness? What? I said why in the darkness? Because it's time to sleep. I couldn't agree with him more, although I was slightly surprised by such an abrupt mood swing. I just barely stumbled to my bed and collapsed on it without undressing. But still, Alisa. I just didn't know what I should think of her. It wasn't because she had been acting strange recently. No. On the contrary, all of her behavior was quite consistent and understandable. Even her returning to thank me. I thought of Alisa much more than anything else that had happened tonight. Although, if you get down to it, there was nothing supernatural about it. Uncomfortable, sure. Frightening, even spine-chilling, sure. Something related to my arrival here? Hardly. These thoughts put me to sleep. Tag 5. We ran. Ran with the last of our strength. Like those who run for their precious lives. Like a doomed person, knowing that there is no hope to save life. Will still fight the inevitable on his own fate. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is, or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast, but we have no other place to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling down, and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst. But death is the kind of thing that you can't ever prepare for. But suddenly, complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized that there's nothing else I could do. Yes, you know why. A horrible bang almost split my eardrums. Dude, ich hab den Sound auf leise und das war fucking laut. It seems that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. I woke up in cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. Oh, Dude, Alter. Wir haben 3 Uhr morgens. Ich werde das jetzt mal speichern. Day 5. Und ich werde jetzt mal eine kurze Pause machen. Aber ich werde weiter aufnehmen, weil es ist gerade so mega interessant einfach. Also ich muss sagen, das gerade war echt heftig. Also echt heftig. Und ja, dann mache ich jetzt eine Pause und dann sehen wir uns gleich wieder. Tüdelü. So, ich bin wieder zurück. Etwas erfrischt. Und machen wir weiter. I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clock was showing a few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind, and my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Olga wasn't here. She must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks. Go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventures, I had to have a rest. Scheiße. Last night was remained a blurry memory which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. Because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Though I would agree with this principle even if I wasn't a pioneer. And as a matter of fact, I'm not. And on my way to the washstands, I met Electronic. He started to wave his hands and ran up to me. Good morning! Thank you for finding Shurik. Without him I don't even... It's nothing. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be so shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says that he went out to He says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed in the morning. I mean, he remembered nothing between those two events. I see. Alright then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club, we'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspirational way. Thanks, I'll come. Probably. I had to wash myself first anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody near the washstands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers. But since there's nobody here, I turned the tap in such a way so water streamed parallel to the ground and started to take off my clothes. And what if somebody sees me? Well, I'll rinse and dry myself quickly and put on my clothes. The water which seemed warm on my hands and face felt bone-chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the food path. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. A moment later, Alisa and Ulyana appeared near the washstands. You could have done it by yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Oh. Alisa opened the valve and started to rub Ulyana's back. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees us? What? Is there anything to see? Shots fired, shots fired. She grinned. Okay, just be quick. Oh. Aber ich sehe keinen Nippel. Also muss ich es auch nicht zensieren. Das ist ja zensiert durch ein sehr convenient lens flare. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so I stared at the girls narrowly. It was a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. A minute later, Alisa managed to wash off all the paint. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome. Wait a second. Ist da gerade was passiert? Nee. Okay. Alisa replied lazily. Listen, let me try on yours. She pointed at Alisa's bra. It won't fit for you for sure. Well, I would like to try anyway. But out here... There's nobody here, right? Ulyana looked my way and smiled ugly. Oh boy! I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in the tree, in these bushes, but enough with this nonsense. Ulyana wasn't listening to her anymore and grabbed Alisa's bra with a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess, I had something to look at. Dude, was ist das denn, Alter? Ich hab gedacht, ich habe die unzensierte Version. Was ist das? Das sind keine Nippel! Wo sind die Nippel? I watched the two girls chase one another around the washstand with bated breath. Alisa covered her breast with her hand so I could barely see anything at all. I leaned forward and stumbled over a stone, falling out of the bushes. Oh shit, boy. Alisa and Ulyana stood frozen, staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. Their blue lasted for seconds. Then Alisa took her shirts and somehow put it on an instant. You. Her face gone from red to purple. It looked like she would explode in a nuclear blast any second. The only thing I wanted was to disintegrate into the atoms and to get as far from the epicenter as possible. You were sitting there the whole time. So she noticed me then. You, and I. Well, I accidentally, if you know what I mean. Alisa rushed at me. Oh, dude, Alter. Oh, initial D. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran in the woods. It seems the best solution to me at this time, as showing up naked in the middle of the camp accompanied by two screaming girls wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back. I stopped 2 minutes later to catch my breath. It seems that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself. But at the cost of was lacerated, scratched and bleeding feet, as I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump inside. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. My feet are hurting, so I should go straight to the infirmary. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept Electronics' invitation? Or head to the canteen in hope of finding something left to eat there. Oh boy.